We got a little bit of a stormy summer morning this August day. Only have about 3 more weeks of summer before fall starts, and then only about 2.5 months of heat before fall starts for me. But today, this morning, I'm starting early. We're gonna knock out a roof inspection. Before I throw my life into a little bit of a chaotic mess, but I really don't think there's much more important service an RV owner could ever do than to have their roof inspected at least once a year. Twice a year is best, but definitely before you use an RV and after you use an RV is the absolute best. We're back over here at the covered storage area, I guess over by my shop. Sure is a beautiful sunrise. All right, it looks like we're gonna be working on a view, huh? I always love these views. I always figured if I was going to get a Class B or Class C motorhome, or one of these 2007 Views or the Navions, I always liked these. And these are Winnebago roofs made just like normal Winnebago motorhomes with a pylon roof with a radius edge on it. Alright, so it looks like we've got a little bit different things going on right here. So there's some screws in the molding right there that shouldn't be there. Alright guys, I need to pause this inspection real fast just to update you because I now understand what's going on, because we've been going back and forth with the owner with emails for the last few weeks, and I always get things a little bit crazy. So the owner purchased this 2007 Winnebago View in Washington State and drove it down here, and he was talking to his friend about his roof, and every time he talks about having a membrane roof on his View, everybody has a confused look on their face, and I had the confused look on my face when I was reading his email. I'm like, well, you have a fiberglass roof. But he doesn't have a fiberglass roof. It has been changed out to a membrane roof.
It was a long time ago. I bought this. I had it inspected. I got it in Washington. And there was an issue with a water leak when I was looking at it. We didn't
Water leak on the roof?
No, on the city inlet.
And so when he found that out, he was very concerned that he bought a bad motorhome that needed a new roof, and so that's why he wanted me to come out and take a look at it. Now, of course, doing annual maintenance and inspections on your roof is something I always stress, but he was more concerned about if the roof was installed correctly or not. And so that's where we're at and why I'm doing this inspection, and that's why I'm finding that this roof is not what I expected at all. I hope that it brings everybody up to date. We're going to find out that he did know from when he purchased it that the roof was replaced, and he talked to the people that sold it to him that they didn't install it, but they did have another company install the membrane roof. Now we're caught up. Let's go back.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll just go ahead and take a look inside. Just going to try to look for any signs of leaks on it where it would stain.
That closet's where there was, he replaced some stuff. So
this back closet here?
Yeah, that's the same guy. Had replaced some wood back there because he had found some leakage back there in that back wall.
Okay, I can see that. That's pretty impressive. They made their own painted textured wall panel to match the Winnebago stuff. Huh. That's a very interesting take. But they didn't change out the fabric on the roof, so I don't really see any signs of damage there. So it just must have been from the rear cap area. And that's about the only place where I see
Is this
anything. It's a pretty small roof. Shouldn't take too long to do, but it's always a great idea to inspect a roof. I'm sorry that you kind of got surprised by this. So yeah, this is a TPO membrane on it. It has that stuccoed appearance to it. So the good news is, I mean, it feels really good. A method I would have recommended to do, but on a roof this narrow, you're not going to lose a lot of strength with it, because that fiberglass is a little bit of a strength issue because it's partly bonded.
Yeah, I watched one of the videos of replacing one of them. I saw how it was. There's not much structure to it.
Right. I'm curious how they must have, yeah, There's usually no radius right here, so he must have manufactured some aluminum radiuses.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's done really as a pretty good transition too.
The receipt that he gave me for it, the guy charged him like six grand for it, but he didn't put down what he used or anything on it, so I was trying to hunt that down.
All right, well, that's a very fair price. So yeah, so you can kind of see right there this gutter where it's got that hole right there.
Yeah.
The normal pylon roof would have been over the side and tucked in right here.
Oh, okay.
So they even used the original Winnebago molding. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed by it.
Well, the shop said, yeah, the guy who did it, he does good work, but he goes, we don't do roofs that much here, especially on Winnebagos. I don't know if that's a common thing with shops.
No, because Winnebago roofs are so unique. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, when I could see it from down below, I'm like, well, that's the wrong sealant on here, but no, it's the right lap sealant. It's an acrylic sealant.
Not putting a lap sealant up onto that like trim molding, because that's usually not like that. From what I've seen.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Winnebago would have done something very similar. Yeah. Yeah, I think when you reached out to me and told me about your membrane, I was like, well, this shouldn't have a membrane. Okay. And this was done a few years ago?
No, that was done less than a year ago.
Less than a year ago.
It was up in Washington, so it's got pine needles and things like that.
Yeah, I can see them right there, yeah.
And but it's less than a year.
Well, yeah, so far what I'm seeing looks really good. I mean, I always tell people if you're going to do a roof, you might as well change out all the vents and attachments. Like, this is still the original fantastic vent. The lid is quite yellow, but if it's working, it's working. But they kind of beat up the
Yeah, I saw that.
the rail right there, but I'm assuming at one point maybe that's what caused the delamination. But you had said something about the other wall delaminating too?
No, but the adhesive they use to get to stick to the fiberglass.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, is if they ripped off the fiberglass or if they...
I doubt they did. I don't know, though. That's a good question. That's what I was trying to get more information.
Well, because if it's delaminating, they'd have to take the fiberglass off, or they put a lot of effort into relaminating it, which doesn't make much sense to me.
Well, that's what he had said to do, because I asked him. He said, yeah, they cut everything out and they covered it and sealed it, whatever that means. Is that moving a little bit?
I think it's just the shroud moving.
That shroud needs to be
No, it is loose, yeah. So the AC's loose. Yeah.
That I know how to tighten up.
Right, you just tighten it up from under. It's a really common problem on Winnebagos. Okay. So yeah, they still kept the original Norcold refrigerator vent, the original TV antenna. Looks like you're missing a radio antenna up here. And yeah, usually the hardest part of this job is you have to take this whole front cap off, you know? And it's a day and a half worth of work to take off and back on again.
Yeah, I doubt they did.
No, I don't think they did either, because you can see the transition right here. They just went ahead and went over the top of it.
Is this something that probably was leaking at one point, where there's a little bit of...
Well, no, I mean, you have good points right there, because that spotting does look a little bit more like mold.
We drove through some wicked drain storms too, and it didn't leak.
Right.
On the way back from Washington.
Usually when I do a roof inspection, it's just going to be a visual inspection. But having looked at the ceiling up front there, I am a little bit concerned about maybe how they did that transition. If I can at least see underneath these decorative shrouds. Because these screws don't really go into the roof. They go into a bracket that then goes into a roof. Right. Look at that mud dauber. Yeah, this bracket gets epoxied on, and it looks like the membrane got put over the top of this cap, because you can kind of feel it going over the top. And then the molding goes on top of it. So I mean, it's not pretty, but it works. Right. Very interesting. But yeah, I don't know if you can see right here, it's just starting to fray and crack a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But the rest of the awning doesn't look too bad. It's almost like tree sap or something. What is that, do you think?
Yeah,
It's got to be sap.
where you had it stored, there was a bunch of
Okay.
trees around it.
But yeah, that front one's just epoxied onto the fiberglass cap, and this one's screwed down right there. Well, Winnebago loves epoxy, and generally their epoxy doesn't last very long, but that's just because they use steel and they don't prep the steel, and they paint it, and then they don't grind into the paint, you know, and so the epoxy sticks to the paint, and the paint just comes straight off the steel. They have their patented coat, powder coat process that they say is fantastic, but you can see it on that front cap. You know, it never works very well on the edges. It's where it always peels. Yeah, this side looks even better. The guy did good work. Basically, you just want to keep your gutters clean. Well, it's just a natural valley right there for stuff to get stuck. And because this gutter right here is technically supposed to be on the inside of the roof, how they got the transition over here, I can't really be confident how well it was. It looks like they used an awful lot of sealant. I would probably clean all this off as much as I could, then get some more sealant and just keep filling in that void right there.
Transition.
Right. Just because of the way the roof was done. I thought for sure originally that they made their own metal radius.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Is you said the Proflex I'd want to put on there?
On that right there, I would just be using some Dicor self-leveling. Yeah, just kind of like filling up that corner right there, because it's going to be self-leveling. Won't allow any voids in it. Proflex doesn't self-level, and so you can get voids and it doesn't sink into the spots.
You'll have to show me on the camera what you're talking about.
Oh, sure. Yeah, not a problem. I'll take a picture for you. However, looking at this, it does look like there's a little bit of voids right on the inside of the skylight. You can just go over the top with some Dicor to get it. I took a picture so I can show you. Right. But
Arizona, I don't know if I'm worried as much about it, but still.
I'm honestly really impressed by the job that they did. I mean, it feels very, very solid.
Good stories about these things going off and going on the highway.
No, I don't think you'll ever have a problem with the roof ripping off at all. They went over the side just like they normally would. I mean, it's not. Yeah. I'm kind of really impressed. It might be a better way of doing things.
So just kind of go with it until it gives me a problem?
Yeah, I don't see a problem.
Okay.
I think you'd be really happy with it. Looks like you could probably use a little bit of cleaning out of all the gutter over here between the awning and there, but that's from.
Is that thing on right? I noticed it's kind of bowed in the middle.
Well, it does seem a little loose. We can take a look underneath. But yeah, so everything looks really good. Even this vent right here is really common to crack and break. Looks good. And this is a gel coat, that front cap. They didn't get much better than that.
That's been replaced at some point in his ownership.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just got a radio antenna and a loose roof AC. I'm really impressed by this. Should get the name of that shop that did it in Washington, because they did a good job.
Yeah, I wasn't in there.
Well, on the radius it does?
Yeah,
Right there? Yeah. I mean, without taking it apart any, you know, taking the vent off, I'm going to revamp and say they didn't make a metal radius, because I can feel the transition right there where the foam would be. I'm just wondering if they untucked it, took this molding off, secured the radius, that fiberglass edge, then put the molding on top. That's still a lot of work. Like the spring tension on these radiuses is crazy, because I've tried to do that before too, and it's very interesting. So yeah, if they left the fiberglass on here, so that's probably why it feels so good. Okay. But then I don't know why they did all this if it's delaminating. We now have the sun finally peeking through, and I'm getting that raking light, and I don't really see anything. And the Dicor adhesive, the water-based adhesive, it can be put on fiberglass. It can be put on metal. It can be put on wood. This looks like a Dicor lap sealant. Yeah. There's Extreme and Alpha Seal. They're all very similar, but it's not a silicone based one. Yeah, I can see what you're talking about right here, right by the vent right there. Okay. I'm really impressed. Your roof is in really good shape. If I could say anything, maybe, but I don't even think it's going to be that important, because they did a Proflex on the side here as a cap seal on the molding. But I guess the last thing I should have tried, but I already climbed up the ladder. Yeah, this was a pretty rare roof for Winnebago. Seems like they put in all the brackets and everything that they should have underneath. Well, Proflex has organics in it, so it does tend to it's not completely UV safe, and it will start to crack and yellow a little bit.
Okay.
It can grow mold. It's definitely possible you might be missing a few mounting screws, and maybe some of the screws are a little bit loose. But these box awnings are a little bit jank to begin with. Is the best way I can put it. We're closing up that inspection. I'm going to touch base back in the shop with you guys. But overall, that was a very interesting roof repair done on a Winnebago roof. Now, I wouldn't say I have a lot of thoughts about the whole thing, but I do have some. As somebody who seems to put out a lot of Winnebago roof repair videos, this did seem like a very viable repair option rather than relaminating. What I don't quite understand is how or why the membrane was put on the roof to begin with. So initially I thought that they ripped off the fiberglass roof, fabricated some aluminum radiuses to fill the gap on the radiuses. Of course, on Winnebagos they don't have radiuses. That's what the fiberglass does. I'm curious how they must have, yeah, because there's usually no radius right here, so he must have manufactured some aluminum radiuses. But the more I looked at it, the more I felt it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's done really as a pretty good transition too. Like I said, the lamination is part of the structure of the roof. I thought initially maybe they pulled the fiberglass off, and I have seen membranes put over the top. Maybe they put a new decking on, but it didn't feel like it. Everything, the fit and finish was really good. So it just seems like they left the fiberglass on there, pulled the rails off the side, put the fiberglass underneath the rails with the membrane on top, and then put the rails on top of all of that. I've never actually seen it done that way before. I have seen other ways of repairing Winnebago roofs. Either way, you still have to make that radius. So like I said, I don't know why they put a membrane on to begin with. They were talking about a little bit of damage over by the ladder. We could see in the closet of the bathroom. They took time to put a matching decor texture paint on some Luan paneling to make it match. So there was evidently some water damage there. I didn't see any damage on the sidewall, and I don't really know what was going on back there. So without tearing into the roof to take a look at it, this does seem like a pretty good repair. The problems that usually associated with Phylon roofs, if you screw down the edges and they don't have a live edge like Winnebago does, eventually, because the whole box twists, that Phylon edge starts to get creases on it and starts to crack. But on these smaller views, you don't really have the box itself twisting too much, so I don't think you have to worry about that. I unfortunately don't have any Winnebago roofs here, so I'm going to just take a quick drive over to another shop. We'll take a look at a Winnebago roof to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Now, unfortunately, because Stones doesn't have a lot of Winnebagos for me to choose from today, just this Rayo, which is very similar to the View. But if we look at the roof radius on this one and let it represent most of the Winnebago roofs out there, this edge is still going to be tucked into the gutter right here. So I have definitely seen people fabricate a metal radius, screw it down to the deck, and then screw molding on top of this radius right there. It looks a little bit odd, but if you don't know it's not supposed to be like that, you may not ever know that it's not supposed to be like that. But it's usually just on the roof because it's difficult to secure that sheet metal down to just 1/8 inch paneling. That's where you'll get a divot every little bit, then you'll have to have tape. So I suspect that they just went over the top of this Phylon, because I don't know how on earth they made such a seamless transition there. But I have seen Winnebago roofs do that too, when people do a membrane on top of it. Obviously it's not ideal, and it does tend to cause a little bit of cracking, a little bit of twisting, and possible problems down the road. But that's down the road for other people's concerns. Unfortunately, when I do a roof, I need to make sure that it's not my concern down the road. So I try to do it at least as close to the factory as I physically can and I'm capable of doing. But I have seen it done different ways, and we just saw that today. There you have it, guys. What I thought would be a very quick, easy money roof inspection turned into a learning experience for me and for you guys. I'm always willing to learn things, and so it is good to see somebody was able to figure out how to do a Winnebago roof, and I don't have to do the experimentation myself and take the liability of it. So it does look like this is a viable option. Maybe not on a complete Winnebago Class A motorhome, because the roof is so big. You might lose a little bit of strength, a lot of strength, if you were to just put a membrane roof on top. But I have seen that done too. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. It is definitely an option to do, and we all learned something today. Bye. I do have some commentary and thoughts about it.